Friends, welcome. Having identified the issues for New World Order in education, which means making education value based, corruption free education, we need to look forward how to do it. Every child needs admission. There are not enough Balvatikas, there are not enough primary schools, there are not enough play schools, there are not enough colleges, there are not enough, probably the universities may be or may not be enough. Question is the first is the paucity of opportunities for education. Therefore, the first solution to be found if you want a corruption free, value based education is to provide opportunity for everyone to attend or take lessons or learn. This can begin from home, schooling by parents within a structured method. The homeschooling can be one solution where parents cannot give time. Neighborhood schools where those having time are permitted to give admission to children within small groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. More than that in a home will be difficult. So first the rule should be made for home school or Bal Vatika which can be within the house or neighborhood next door. The people capable or people authorized or allowed to run these places should be education oriented, value based. The very first, they should have the bent of mind for education and not for making money or exploiting others for their own benefit. That's the first criteria which has to be. Which means if they're retired, they have been in education and have no corrupt practices behind them as a bad name or a black name. And those who are fresh are at least having basic education for providing education to others, skills to provide education to others. So first step is allowing home or neighborhood schools for supporting the Balavatika and play school. Second, the primary school. Today, primary schools are also limited. Like coaching centers, those who are opening because they have physical facilities and they have the time and resources to set up. There's so many regulations for this. Even in the new education policy, this issue has not been addressed. That primary education up to say fifth standard can be provided in small cottage schools or neighborhood schools or colony schools. Child doesn't have to travel much. Parents don't have to run fear for the child's safety. And the place is given authorization, approval for running a primary school based on that they have sufficient space and facilities for the number of students they are admitting, and that number should not exceed beyond a number as defined already today. Then comes the secondary schools. Those who pass out of the Balvartikas go to primary school. Those who pass out of the primary schools go to the secondary schools. Secondary schools for art side, for literature, for general subjects do not need laboratories but do need some facilities. These should be allowed based on the space, infrastructure, teaching faculty, support facility, and resources. The qualifications again should be the capability, no black mark, enlightenment. They should be self realized people in education. In fact, every teacher should be a self realized teacher at whatever level, from starting from home up to the university and beyond the universities. Even. Beyond the university means the research centers should be self realized. Therefore, self realization for teachers is the first qualification. Not having any blemish or black spot which has not been cleared fully and accepted by society is the second criteria, and qualification or capability and the skills to provide education, the third part. Now, for creating the competent schools which have the infrastructure, full infrastructure, lab facility, computers, libraries, playgrounds, places to practice skills, to learn and practice skills are essential parts. For that, too much strictness is not necessary. Today, it is said so many acres or square yards of land. This facility can be vertical also. After all, if the world has gone vertical, if people are living in multi stories, even a child is born in multi story and grows in multi story, what is the harm in allowing education in safe multi story places? Safe means the balconies, the open spaces, the windows should be all protected. The child should not be in danger by any mistake. And these facilities can be created in multi-story. Current rules don't provide. They only lay down on ground area. But ground alone is not available. The world is having shortage of land. The war between China and all other countries is basically the land shortage. Expansionist policies are basically because they have too much of population and available space is less. Therefore, multi-story, underground, in space, in water, should be allowed. Therefore, the second requirement is to allow rules for setting up primary, secondary, inter, degree, university level education centers with facilities and not just the ground area. Minimum ground area will probably will be necessary even for creating a multi-story, but that the land rules or the building rules should do take care of 70%, 60%. And in case of playground, even playgrounds, indoor games can all be made even multi-story inside. Even the outdoor games with artificially laid down fields can be made indoors. Therefore, the rules should lay down the requirement of space for conducting activity and not the ground only, but a safe place. Therefore, the need is education setting up. Setting rules for setting up educational institutions should be reality based, flexible, but fully safe and equipped. The next part is the faculty. Degree has become criteria today. Becoming a university teacher, you need a PhD. Hence, there are fake PhD degrees going on all over the world. All over the world. It's not just India alone. All over the world. Why lay down such unmanageable, undoable rules for that? Teaching as a skill, teaching as a capability should be the first criteria with basic minimum, say for example, for teaching the graduate you need a postgraduate. For teaching a postgraduate you need a PhD. For teaching a PhD you need a PhD with certain years of experience. In fact, even a graduate with certain years, say 10 years experience of teaching, can teach the other graduates that particular subject. So, rules for teaching or appointment of teachers should be the capability to deliver, to teach, and not just the degrees. Then corruption will be much reduced. Therefore, to make education corruption free, we should allow setting up of educational institutions with safety and infrastructure requirement, not just the ground space. A person having room house, I mean 4 bedroom house, but only two people living there, can convert drawing room and 3 bedrooms into the classrooms. Why not? If you can allow the guest houses to be made in the houses, if you can make temporary places during the international national games at guest houses, why can you not allow schools, colleges, institutions to be set up in places where ground requirement is not so strict, but space for conducting activity is important. It could be multi-story, it could be linked towers, etc. Teachers should be capable, should be judged for their capability, and students' feedback, their own satisfaction, etc. should be the criteria to do, and not just the degree on that. It will reduce the corruption to a great, great extent. If we take care of these basic things, probably education can be made much more corruption free than it is today. God bless all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.